The sheriff handed me an eviction notice for my own damn ranch. 200 acres that's been in my family since 1923. And some HOA president claimed it belonged to their fancy suburban community. I'm standing on the gravel driveway where 3 generations of Thompson men have walked, staring at papers demanding I vacate in 30 days. The smell of diesel from my old cattle truck mixed with the steam from my morning coffee, still warm in my calloused hands. Amanda Whitaker, I'd never laid eyes on her before, claimed my ranch was illegally carved out from her Willow Creek community's land. This was the place where Emily and I had built our retirement dreams, where I'd scattered her ashes under our big live oak tree just 18 months ago after cancer took her too soon. Ma'am, this land predates your cookie-cutter neighborhood by 4 decades, I told her. Amanda just smirked, her perfectly manicured nails tapping on her clipboard. Not according to our master development agreement, she said. She had picked the wrong retired petroleum engineer to mess with. 30 years in the oil fields had taught me that desperate land grabs often hide bigger, uglier problems. What would you do if some stranger tried to steal your family's legacy right out from under you? Let me back up and tell you how this nightmare started. I'm Robert Thompson, 58 years old, a retired petroleum engineer who figured raising cattle on our Texas Hill Country ranch would be the quiet life I deserved after decades in the roughneck world. Emily and I bought this spread 15 years ago as our slice of heaven. 200 acres where the only sounds were the lowing of cows and the wind rustling through the oaks. We'd spend weekends walking the fence lines, planning the new barn, dreaming about grandkids who'd come visit someday. But cancer hit Emily hard, and the medical bills drained our savings faster than a summer drought sucks the life out of the grass. I kept the ranch going on sheer grit and daily talks with her photo over coffee. Morning, darling. The herd's looking strong today. Miss you more than words can say. That's when Amanda Whitaker stormed into my life like a West Texas twister, her high heels clicking across my weathered porch. She drove up in a shiny black SUV that looked out of place next to my beat-up Chevy pickup. Her perfume was sharp and expensive, making even the cows shift uneasily in the pasture. Mr. Thompson, I'm Amanda Whitaker, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, she announced, extending a hand while waving official-looking documents with the other. We need to discuss your property situation. I'd heard about these HOA types, folks who nitpick over mailbox colors and lawn heights, but I never figured they'd come after my ranch. I chuckled at first. Lady, this land's been Thompson property since my grandfather homesteaded it. Your development didn't even exist back then. Her smile turned icy. That's where you're mistaken. According to our master agreement, your ranch was illegally subdivided from our community land. Under the reversionary clause, it reverts back to us. Reversionary clauses are real enough in property law. They mean land can snap back to the original owner if certain conditions aren't met. If her papers were legit, I could lose everything without a penny in return. My grandfather didn't steal this dirt. He earned it with sweat and calluses. The only thing reverting here is you off my porch, I said. That's when Amanda pulled out her phone and dialed 911. Yes, I need officers at 1247, County Road 15. There's a property theft in progress. The suspect is refusing to leave community land and making threats. 20 minutes later, my old buddy Deputy Ramirez was standing there, looking apologetic as he handed me the court papers. Amanda hovered by his cruiser, smug as a fox in a henhouse. The lawsuit claimed my ranch violated some master deed restriction, saying it was sliced illegally from Willow Creek and they had rights to reclaim it. I ran my fingers over the rough bark of the oak where Emily and I had carved our initials, where I'd spread her ashes, where she'd made me promise to fight for what's right, no matter how tough. Staring at those papers, I had no clue I was looking at the first pawn in a twisted game where Amanda had been embezzling $2.8 million from 340 families over 12 years through a phony homeowners association. All I knew was this woman in her designer suit wanted to rip away the last piece of Emily I had left. Amanda kept glancing at her phone, complaining about how my cows ruined the community's aesthetics. I wondered if there was an app for rating cow ugliness. But from my engineering days, I knew pressure builds slow then bursts. Amanda was applying force to grab my land, and that meant she was hiding something massive. 3 days later, she filed an emergency injunction, claiming my deed was fraudulent. She paraded what looked like official development plans before the county judge, with neat lines boxing my ranch as community property. The local news jumped on it. Rancher in bitter dispute over land rights. Amanda played the victim, the upstanding leader protecting residents from a stubborn old cowboy. She even tipped off a TV crew to film her at my gate, pointing at survey markers like she was giving a TED Talk. Then the sheriff served me that 30-day eviction notice. I sat at my kitchen table, Emily's photo staring back, the silence heavier than a lead weight. Even the cows seemed off. Milk production dropped 20% like they sensed the storm. I called Michael Donovan, the only property lawyer in town I could scrape together funds for. $5,000 retainer I didn't have, but my neighbor Frank Ramirez co-signed a loan against his old John Deere. Michael spread Amanda's papers across his desk like defusing a bomb. Robert, this is either genius-level fraud or you're sunk. We pored over every page for hours. Something nagged at me. The deed numbers didn't add up. We headed to the county courthouse basement, where records gathered dust like forgotten relics. The clerk, Mrs. Gonzalez, had been there since the Carter administration. She shook her head at the deed number. Sweetie, that sequence was never issued. Clerical skip from way back. Property deeds have unique stamps tied to dates and spots. Fakes point to ghosts. We pulled the original 1960s plats, yellowed maps cracking like dry leaves. Clear as day, Willow Creek was built around existing ranches, including mine. My family had been here 40 years prior. That night, I found Emily's handwritten notes in an old folder, her neat script mapping every fence, every marker, every tree we'd planted. Robert always checked the papers, but questioned the folks behind them. Even gone, she was guiding me. Amanda's agreement had more errors than a rookie's drill log. Fraud doesn't spell check, apparently. Her fatal flaw, claiming authority from a ghost HOA. Next morning, I told Michael, file to dismiss, and hit her with sanctions for bogus suits. But Amanda doubled down, filing claims I was unhinged from grief, that losing Emily made me delusional about ownership. That crossed every line. I sat under Emily's oak, county records scattered like crime scene evidence. The afternoon sun filtered through leaves that had seen my family toil for a century. Darling, this woman's saying you're passing broke me. She's about to learn what a 30-year pressure expert does when pushed. The twist hit when I dug into Amanda's past. Her Willow Creek HOA wasn't state registered. No charter, no standing, no power. She'd been bluffing from day one. But as I built my case, she ramped up. She got a judge to issue a temporary restraining order, claiming I threatened community safety. Suddenly, I was barred from my eastern 100 acres, where the well, barn, and 50 head of cattle were. Her lawyer served the order with all the warmth of a tax audit. Mr. Thompson, stay off the disputed land until ownership's resolved. I watched my cows crowd the fence, baffled why they couldn't reach water. The gate's clang echoed like a prison door. Boarding those cattle cost $200 a day. Frank took them temporarily, but I was hemorrhaging cash. That's when I hired Dr. Elizabeth Hayes, a forensic document expert from Austin. My engineering gut said her maps were fishy. Dr. Hayes examined under special lights. Mr. Thompson, these creators didn't grasp GPS basics. Metadata showed historical maps made last week on a home PC. GPS cords from 1995 on a 1960s dock? Impossible. Signatures were Photoshop jobs, identical pressure marks from copies, not originals. Amanda was cutting and pasting her way to theft. I set up trail cams along the fence, hidden in posts and branches. If her crew trespassed to plant evidence, I'd catch it. Then 3 neighbors called with similar tales. John Carter's 60 acres next door, same suit, same subdivision claims. Frank Ramirez got papers saying his 1940s land was Willow Creek's. Even old Henry Ford, whose spread predated the county lines. We gathered at Frank's table, for ranchers baffled how this polished woman could threaten century-old holdings. She offered me $50K to walk away quiet, John said. When I refused, she vowed bankruptcy via lawsuits. Pattern emerged. Amanda targeted rural folks around her development systematically. My cams caught her team planting stakes at 2 a.m., faking boundaries. I called Michael with the video. Trespass and tampering, we've got her. Robert, this ain't just borders, it's a land grab racket. That night, I found Emily's journal, detailed notes on every landmark from 2008 to 2020, debunking Amanda's claims. The twist deepened. Amanda filed threats against her workers, with security footage of my truck aggressing the fence. But Dr. Hayes proved timestamps altered, shadows wrong. My truck GPS showed me at the feed store. The order extended 30 days. Judge Harlan seemed swayed or scared by her high-dollar lawyers. Under Emily's oak, journal in hand, sunset over land I might lose. Darling, she's not just after our place. She's robbing families countywide. Time to go offensive. But Amanda's next play showed her desperation, attacking my family's history. She claimed my grandfather stole the land via fake homesteads, that we'd squatted since 1923. Judge froze my accounts. $15K checking, $40,000 savings gone. Couldn't buy feed or pay Michael. Bank called my equipment loan, threatening repo on the tractor Emily and I bought for our golden years. Local paper ran. Rancher's fortune built on stolen dirt. Now I defended not just land, but Grandpa's name. Weekend in the attic, sifting Grandma's trunk, cedar, and old paper scent. At bottom, 1,923 homestead papers, original grant, survey, fee receipt, plus photos from 1930s showing our buildings pre-Willow Creek. Chain of title back to government grant trumped any developer BS. Drove to courthouse with Michael. Mrs. Gonzalez traced it. Your grandpa filed legit, never private company owned. Amanda claimed rights from Willow Creek Corp., dissolved in '65 for fraud, never held land. She inherited from crooks. Michael filed emergency dismissal and sanctions. But cornered, Amanda went nuclear. Criminal charges I threatened her kids at school, with footage of my truck there. Felony stalking loomed. Sheriff arrested me at dawn. Deputy Ramirez looked gutted. Michael bailed me using the ranch as collateral. If lost, she'd get it via forfeit. That's when I called my engineer pal's daughter in FBI financial crimes. Special Agent Laura Vargas met at a truck stop. Sharp, no nonsense. Mr. Thompson, this smells like racketeering if she's hitting multiple owners with fakes. Gave her everything. Forgeries, altered videos, bank oddities, other victims' contacts. 2 weeks to probe Amanda, don't confront. Twist, school footage faked, shadows off. Bigger, Amanda collected fees from 340 families for ghost services. Pool never built, security never hired. Embezzlement disguised as HOA management. Laura called 3 days later. Robert, she's run a fraud op 12 years. $2.8 million pocketed. I sat in my truck, stunned. 340 homes at $850 per month for nothing. Traced funds to her personal accounts. Fiduciary breach, felony theft. Lawsuits distract, Laura explained. Grabbing rural land legitimizes her fake HOA, justifying fees. My ranch was cover. She'd done it in 3 counties, steal fees, provide zilch. Under Emily's oak. Darling, it's justice for hundreds now. FBI needed airtight case. Time to build. Annual HOA meeting in 10 days. Amanda to present finances, hike fees. Our trap. Laura, play defense. Let her think victory. Will arrest mid-meeting with witnesses, media. Her model. Fake authority. Collect for fantasies, sue rurals for cred, launder, repeat. Across states. I saw why my ranch obsessed her. Without it, her scam crumbled. Power flipped. No longer defending. Helping bust a thief of millions. Agent Vargas met at the ranch to plan. Meeting in center built with stolen cash. Poetic. Texas law lets one-party recording. My pal installed hidden cams. Audio. 4K cloud backup. FBI wanted her incriminating publicly for ironclad proof. I crunched numbers. $850 x 340 times 12 is equal to $3.4 million stolen. Average family lost $9,800. Vacations, college funds gone. Wire fraud via emails, interstate transfers, 20 years federal. Coordinated with other FBI on her network. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, same playbook. Prep questions, years managing, services for hikes, amenity locations, account balances, forced defense of undefendable. Door-to-door that week, raising awareness sans Fed reveal. Frank coordinated rurals. Susan Donovan, retired teacher. Phone trees for turnout. Documented fakes. Pool, security, landscaping, legal, all zilch. Landscaping alone $60,000 per year billed, zero spent. Media. Dallas paper tipped on embezzlement bust. Under Emily's oak. Darling, tomorrow we end a thief hurting hundreds. Eve before, Vargas with details. Agents outside. Question to incriminate, then bust. Week prior, Amanda's panic peaked. Tried bribing County Clerk John Carter $25,000 for backdated records. My cams caught it. Bribing officials, 15 years federal. She'd paid him $150,000 over 8 years for fakes targeting elders. Then bribed Michael $50,000 to drop me. He recorded. Obstruction, plus 10 years. Moved $400,000 offshore. Laundering, plus 20. Filed stalking on kids again. Faked video, forensics busted. Clerk cooperated, revealing 8-year falsification. Hired PIs to tail me. They reported her intimidation to FBI. Called committee to coach lies, wiretapped. Sunday night, final gambit. Terrorism charges, claiming I hired militia, explosives tied to my oil past. Sheriff called 5 a.m. federal override. False terror reports, plus 8 years, DHS involved. Evidence, all fabricated, altered calls, photos. Judge extended order barring me from meeting. But Vargas, wiretaps caught perjury coaching. Twist, committee flipped. Susan Donovan had real records 3 years, documenting theft. Amanda tried draining $200,000 community funds. Frozen, obstruction plus 10. At 4 p.m., judge dismissed terror claims. False reports kill your cred. Agents positioned, news crews tipped. I watched Amanda arrive confident in her SUV. In 30 minutes, 340 families learn robbery. Agents arrest for life sentence. Emily's whisper, Robert, justice comes. Make it count. Willow Creek Center packed. 340 families. Walls lined. Hallway overflow. News cams at exits. Agents blended. Amanda at podium 7 p.m. Suit sharp. Voice commanding. Welcome. Review finances. Fee hikes. Security from recent threats. Buzz. Whispers on disputes. Costs. Fed rumors. First, remove Robert Thompson for violations. Threats. I stood. Point of order. Addressed directly. She sneered. No standing. Property not his per covenants. Perfect. Claim my ranch hers before witnesses. Cams. Amanda. Show where $850 per month goes. Fees fund essentials. Pool. Security. Landscaping. Legal. Pool address. Silence. Families realized. No pool ever. Planning stages. 12 years. Security patrols where. No guards seen. Vargas gave remote. Clicked screen. Bank records. Fees to her accounts. Calc. $850340012 equals $3.4 M stolen. Room exploded. Shouts. Demands. Forgeries by Robert. She yelled. No. Susan stood. Kept real records. 3 years. You coached false reports today. Crowd riveted. No spending on services. No pool. Security. Landscaping residents do themselves. Vargas entered with agents. Amanda Whitaker, arrested for wire fraud, racketeering, money laundering, conspiracy. Handcuffs clicked. Room hushed. Rights read. Wire fraud, laundering, racketeering, bribery, obstruction, tampering. Amanda, my ranch never yours. Your HOA fake. Stole $2.8 million. FBI on you months. Cams captured walk to Fed cars. Broadcasts. Fake HOA had busted in multi-million scam. Agents took statements. Froze assets for restitution. I addressed. Trial recovers funds via forfeit. Form real HOA. Transparent. 340 volunteered. Justice done. Crook cuffed. Healing starts. After agents hauled Amanda away, silence lasted 5 seconds before cheers and questions. Susan first. Can't let community fall. New board now. 300 hands up. Emergency vote per bylaws. But trust who? Tom protested. Vargas. Roberts exposed fraud, standing as adjacent owner. Nomination seconded. Vote. 338 yes, 2 abstain. Susan handed gavel. Robert, heal us. 1 meeting later, I controlled Willow Creek HOA. Not vengeance, but to make it serve honestly. Irony. Her theft bid handed me her tool of crime. As president, 48 hours in, dissolved fakes, started real services. Judge dismissed all claims on my ranch, awarded $75,000 fees/damages. Amanda's indictment, 47 felonies. Plea, 28 years, cooperate/asset recovery, or 35 trial. Chose plea. Forfeit recovered $2.1 million. Families got $6,200 each. House sold for more comp. Civil suit for punitives, distress. Under me, first transparent HOA, state incorporated, term limits, online reports. Real services, landscaping, security, legal, for issues, not theft. Emily Thompson Integrity Fund, $50,000 from settlement for legal aid versus HOA fraud, honoring her. Helped 3 families already. Annual $10,000 AG Engineering Scholarship. December, Emily Thompson Memorial, Remembrance, Gratitude. Restitution, repay, all pre-parole, min 14 years prison. 6 months post-sentence. Netflix bought doc rights for fake HOA, True Justice. Publisher $150,000 memoir advance. Spoke at property conferences, spotting/preventing scams. Story spurred state laws, HOA registration, audits, background checks. Vargas, network spanned 4 states, 12 fake HOAs, 800+ families robbed. Congress hearings cited us for Fed oversight. Ranch thrives, settlement-funded irrigation, upgrades, herd to 120, profitable first since Emily's illness. Peace found, talks with her photo now grateful. Susan and I married spring under her oak. Journal-inspired garden honoring both women. Community booms, values up 20%. Fight on. Vargas called Oklahoma vet targeting scam, my expertise needed. Emily's whisper in leaves. Robert, trial to triumph for hundreds. Our legacy. What do you think about the violence and injustice that people face in everyday life, like the kind Amanda inflicted on so many families? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Take a stand and let us know your perspective. Have you ever dealt with something similar?